Dakota land where the skies are wide and the freedom stands. With a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky in the heart of the 701. I feel so alive. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins in this wild, wild land where the spirit remains. We're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. Ranch in the fields, the cattle run free with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. The rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fish in the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night. With every shot fired, we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true. With family beside us, we stand through and through. Guns in the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins in this wild, wild land where the spirit remains. We're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values. Our fate is revealed with the word as our guide. We tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align. In North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around. From the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake, with God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71 forever will stand in the heart of our faith in this great free
Can anybody hear me?
There we go, Clay.
There we go. All right. I don't know what was going on there. All right. We're back. Dusty, would you do me the honor and read the Second Amendment? I don't know what was going on here.
Absolutely. My mic was just muted, I think.
Ah.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Oh boy, amen to that. Amen to that. Hey, everybody's starting to roll in here. David, hey David, I'm so glad, so thankful. God sure is great. He his dad went into a surgery today. He come out and all is well. So we want to definitely thank and praise the good Lord for that. And with that, I know that some people actually, I'm getting a lot of great response. Only a couple who didn't really care for this, but I really don't care. So I want to start the show out with a prayer. Lord, thank you again for the precious day that you've given to each one of us. Please shield us with your armor. Of course, this comes from Ephesians, and I think that's something we all need to see today. There's a lot of forces of evil that play on us today, but we are stronger than that as believers. We know we can trust you. We know that our faith is strong, and we know we have your promise of the word. You sent your son to die for us and give us that salvation that we all look for in the final days. Please watch over us, give us strength, and make us love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And please be with our leaders so that they will come from a godly way and make things whole again in your name. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
All right. So, and I just thought that might have been fitting as well. We're seeing, I know the president was overseas, and I'm not a fan of the World Economic Forum. I don't think they're very nice people. I think they're actually kind of evil. So, and before we get going, I don't know about you, but I get so many things. So many people come to me and say, "Hey, Trump, I don't know how you can support him, especially with your beliefs." I go, I said, it's not the first time that a flawed man has been chosen, is it?
That's right. That's right.
So
there's a reason.
There's a reason, and he's a fighter. There's no doubt about it. And he's flawed, very flawed like all of us. But I do believe he's probably the right man that we need at this time. And it sure seems like it anyway. But hey, Tom, good to have you. Eric Newman, good evening from the better of the Dakotas, feasting on some good liver and onions and some Pendleton. I seen that he was eating liver. I'm glad someone eats. I'm just not a fan of liver.
You got to make the capsules. That's what my wife did.
The capsules maybe I could take. I just eating liver by itself. Ugh. Now I do like heart, like beef heart.
Yeah.
We usually, when we butcher here, we save the hearts, and I think I've saved Eric a few livers. We'll be doing it again here. This fall we'll be butchering again, so maybe I'll give him another liver. But Eric, chime in. Are you eating deer liver or elk, or what is it this time?
We save every deer liver.
Yeah, maybe. Do you dry it down and put it in capsules yourself?
Yeah, we do actually. We have a freeze dryer, so we dry it down and make capsules, and then we also make chunks for the dog. So every deer liver, every beef liver we can get our hands on, we keep it all.
So I will tell you that when we do take liver, usually that's a really good dog treat.
Oh yeah, super.
they love that. But so I don't have a freeze dryer. I've looked at them. They're spendy, but I've had a lot of things come out of them, and they sure seem like they're good. Eric says deer. I knew it. Leon says big fan of liver and onions and Pendleton dark. Yeah. I gotta love it, Leon. So if anybody didn't catch it, Christ OS, his new segment, it went live, and I'm telling you want to go get that one. I love how Leon takes. He's an IT guy, so he used it as an operating system. Christ, operating system, how you reset and you download, and I think he just. Talk about take that and put it into a normal, everyday layman's kind of term. I just think it's pretty cool myself. I don't know if you've caught any of them, Dusty, but I do encourage you go check them out.
You got it.
Eric says, I guess I'm a dog. Nah. Hey, Justin, good evening. All right, so I want to have you on again. A lot of things have happened. I was kind of wondering what we might see. I do know that there was lots of talk before they kind of narrowed it down for, the special session that the governor called in. Luckily, I think it looks like to me that it is just dealing with the task at hand that they have, which would be the wasteful money, but nonetheless, it's like $190-some million, and it's going to be close to what they say, something like $500 million in 5 years for the rural health initiative. And then I see what some of the bills that they were talking about pre-legislative. Some of these guys were trying to bring everything and anything into it. And I really halfway expected to see something to kill baiting, kind of sneak it in there. But it didn't. There's not one single bill in there for that. So that's good.
That's great.
There's no reason for it. There would be no reason for it. And I don't know. I can't see where it hurt anything this year. Can you, after the passage?
Absolutely not. No, and it's not going to, Clay. We both know that. Most of the people in North Dakota knows that.
We do. And ironically, I had a discussion here 2 days ago with a guy because he's seen our episodes and, of course, doesn't like what we have to say.
Hey, we can agree to disagree sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
I just told him, okay. I said, I'll give you a chance. I said, tell me why I should believe it. I said, I don't have to believe things. So tell me why. Because I said, there's no science to back it, no matter what they say. It's just a great big circle of this one said that this one's right, that this one's right. And they keep using each other's stuff and regurgitating it. So I go, tell me. I said, they haven't produced a prion. I said, my buddy Dusty, he's proven that time and time again. He's like the expert on it. And this guy couldn't come up with anything. He says, well, you'd think that people that went their whole lives and got a college degree that would lie to us? Yeah, I do.
100%.
I said, 2020 proved that to me.
Exactly.
And well, that's because you've never been to college. I said, you're right. I went and I said, you know what? This isn't for me. But I said, it doesn't mean I'm stupid. And I go, just because someone's got a degree, fancy, hopefully they got a good framer, and they put that up there, doesn't mean much to me anymore. It just don't. Am I wrong?
No, same here. If you got a degree, using it, that is fantastic. We're not putting that down by any means, but at the same time, that doesn't make them any smarter than it does us when it comes to just having boots on the ground.
Oh, absolutely. And you and me, and I don't know how many other people are out here in the ranch ag world. Pretty sure we got a good grip on what we're seeing. We're out there every day. I mean, that's why I look at it.
Absolutely. I mean, we're really the wintertime. The landowners are the ones that are feeding the deer to keep them alive in the wintertime.
Oh, absolutely. So, as you know, we've got this little cold snap coming through, but it kind of started here the last 2 days. I don't know about up your way, but the wind's been just horrendous up here.
Howling,
So all my deer, according to Game and Fish, that mule deer, by the way, that are gathered up behind, those tree rows we put in 20 years ago, for protection and for animals and wildlife and livestock. They're all gathered together. So by what they're saying, they're gathered in a group, eating the hay and eating things there, and they should be spreading it, right? I'm in a CWD unit.
Well, that's what they continually say.
Yeah.
But that's natural congregation. That's fine.
Oh man! Well, and then there's cut corn behind there, and they've been wandering out in there, and finally they're kind of eating on the piles a little bit, which they hadn't, but that were spilled over from when it was harvested. But
Sure.
I mean, that is the definition that they told us was illegal and couldn't do, but yet naturally it occurs. I mean, yeah, don't make sense, does it?
No, none of it makes sense when it comes to CWD other than the shirt right here.
Then I love that shirt. Chronically wasting dollars. There you go. That's what anything. Follow the dollars, right? Yeah, I see we got a bunch of people coming in here. So Matt says the Game and Fish would lose all credibility. They might actually be smart enough to not bring it up. Don't give them too much credit, though. Anytime. I did go through the bills. It looks like they're pretty. They narrowed them down. I forget how many. So that's good. It's a special session, and it shouldn't be this. They got 3 days. They got a lot of things to go. I see they're going to try to force through free. Oh, I hate that term, free school lunch. There's no such thing. Taxpayer funded school lunches for all. Let's call it what it is.
Yep.
And that's going to come from you and me, and it's unnecessary. It truly is. I'm not for it. We'll see what happens. I don't know what kind of support, but you remember this is a thing pushed by Democrats. That's where this originated, and I sure hope that some of them squishy Republicans don't feel they have to do it because they might not look right. This has nothing to do with what they're supposed. The topic at hand is supposed to be rural health care. And so I'm glad to see there was no baiting bills. There was no hunting bills because there was a few people who want to bring in. I know there were a couple people thought about trying to bring the thermal issue in. I go, guys, even I said I don't support anything for that because it's a special session. It shouldn't even be in session.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Clay. But kudos to you for going through all the bills. We really need more people that do that too. Just to keep up on everything, so nothing gets slipped by the people.
And I saw them. I didn't get a chance to read them all. I was kind of busy today. I had to go. Speaking of government, I had to go and take my government-approved pesticide applicator license class. And what did I learn today? Nothing. It was be 3.5, 4 hours we sat there listening to mind-numbing slides.
Oh man!
And guys telling us what to do, which ironically, this does kind of play into what you and I talk about with habitat and deer. And I mean, they're talking about all this chemical, right?
Yep.
And how all of a sudden things, kochia weeds, are getting resistance. And
yep.
They did have in one slide, although they kind of went over it, that tilling it works. That does help. And then I'm sitting there like, yeah, right, tilling. Yeah, once in a while you should till it. And everything led to a stronger, heavier chemical that's now becoming resilient, or the weed is becoming resilient, or the bacteria or the fungi or whatever it might be. Pick your crop. And I noticed the one thing that it didn't happen on rotational crops with soil turning, either light tillage or full tillage, and the fact that they didn't go continuously and gave that land a break. And they actually kind of admitted it. I was actually shocked. I mean, maybe they're turning the corner. You and I know this, right?
Right.
You have to do that. And you can't keep putting things on. But anyway, it kind of, it ties into why are we seeing issues with wildlife? I do believe it does also have to do with some of the farming practices we're doing today.
Absolutely. Well, we actually came from Nebraska, Clay, down there, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. There was quite a bit of CRP and grass and trees, but just in a couple of years time frame, when the corn hit that $7, they took everything out farm from literally the road to the road, and our pheasant population in Nebraska, it disappeared. And it's not just from no habitat.
No.
Chemicals had to play a role in no pheasants, because no rabbits, no pheasants, no birds, no mice,
no worms.
A ghost town, no worms, exactly, just bugs. Yep.
Well, that's so. I don't remember the name of the company there, but so I'm gonna get some seed on my order placed. I'm gonna probably be doing close to. I know I'm doing 15 acres on Stein, and then another little 5-acre plot, and probably about another 10 or 15 on a different area. So I'm primarily looking at 3 different areas this year. Switchgrass is something I want to put in. Of course, you and I had talked about that. Yep. I'm going to try some radishes and some turnips. And then, of course, I'm going to just have a crop or a small windrow of just literally a crop that's just going to sit there and stand. And, of course, sandfoin. That's the things I'm going to try, and along with trees. So we'll see how this goes, because if it works, which I know it will, I think next year, not this year, but 2027, right. My goodness, after a full another summer and they find that stuff and we have some moisture, that should just be like a wildlife heaven for them areas, I would think.
It's going to be. You're building a heck of a paradise down there. All you're going to need, Clay, is a little bit of rain.
Yeah, I wish I'd have done it this year. I just wasn't ready.
Yeah, hindsight.
20 plus inches in this area last year. I mean, that's unheard of here. It really is.
Yeah. That's all right, though. 8 to 10 will still be plenty, Clay.
Yeah, if we can. You got to remember, our average is 5 to 6, maybe
on
a good year. So, and things grow. But I think the crops I've selected are, from what I understand, that switchgrass. The guy I was talking to said it should do okay.
It's pretty drought hardy. Just needs a couple right out of the gate, and then it's pretty drought hardy. Mine had a lot of dry weather, and it did just fine. Second year.
Yeah, well, you sent me some pictures. I thought that looked awesome.
It turned for second year. It's amazing.
So I'm excited because I'm like, get that planted, and then and then the way I'm putting it in there, I'll still be able to hunt it or do whatever I want with it. But my plan is to leave it. Yep. And I know some people think I'm crazy around here, but I don't depend on the farming part of the income at all. So sure. I really don't care. Let's get to some of these. Like Dan says, hemp can help with neutralizing soil. Yeah, I've heard that too. It acts as a powerful soil neutralizer and restore and absorbs toxins like heavy metals, lead, cadmium, and even radioactive elements. Yeah, I've heard that, and I think hemp is so. Got a bad name, right? And for no reason. I mean, you'd have to smoke like 160 acres to even feel it, right? From what I understand. Yeah. Hey, Dan, good evening. Fellow MV from the Western Edge. Absolutely. And Leon says, yeah, you're not wrong. So speaking of that, I noticed in that seminar today that dicadmia, is that how you pronounce it? It's basically, that's a mixture of Roundup and 2 other things. Well, guess what? They're really going to start tracking that here. It's kind of a voluntary thing at the moment, but it sounds like you're going to have to get a special endorsement here in the next year or 2 on your pesticide applicator license to even use it. And anybody's got private land for certain ones of these, now they have to get a point system through the EPA, which starts this year, which I don't use any of it, but these things are so good to put on your food that we should have to have special regulation. And you should have heard the seminar today about the importance of PPE. People don't know what that personal protection gear is, basically what that is. And, I've always thought you should be wearing gloves and a respirator, but no one pushed it. Now they're really pushing it. What are they finding out that we already knew? What are their studies telling them? I think they're a tool, just like no-till is a tool, but everything in a cycle, like we used to see, you've got to aerate the soil. You can't continuously go year after year, even with the same crop. You put the same crop on, you're probably going to start having some disease in that wheat or that corn, because it's the same soil, the same crop, man-made fertilizer, spray, kill, spray, grow. Really?
Right. Yeah.
It's just kind of common. Anyway, I'm all over the place today, but I went to that seminar today, wasted 3.5, 4 hours of my time, but I'll have my card so I can buy things. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Well, education, good or bad, it's education, Clay.
It is. It was a good thing to attend in the fact that it almost seems like they won't come out and admit it, but I think that they're starting to lean towards the fact that, I don't know how many times I heard the term rotational today, which I've never heard, and I don't know how many years ago in these classes to get our certification. All it was no-till, 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 no-till. And I heard rotational used more than I have ever heard before in one of these, as far as crops and fighting disease in them. No kidding.
No kidding.
So I guess all the college degree people are starting to learn that too. I don't know, but
sure. Well, it's kind of what you're taught and what you're brought up with too. It's sometimes just hard to change.
It is. I think no-till is a tool. I truly do, but not something not what we've been doing with it.
Sure,
it just isn't.
I do like to see a lot of landowners around here. They do a lot of cover crops and stuff in the fall, so at least they got something growing to pull the nutrients back up to the topsoil, and that's huge help.
I've been kind of exploring things because I'd like to put in some food plots with some corn in, not the Roundup Ready stuff.
Yep.
But put some in just to leave standing. But I'd like to control the weeds in there. Well, you either got to cultivate it, and I've been looking at different crops you can put in there that really kill the weeds, and then they're left over then for additional forage for wildlife. So
sure.
if I can get the stuff I need, I'm going to plant that this year too. And I'm not a farmer, so I'm learning all kinds of new stuff.
Yeah, same here.
I'm just not. I never farmed. I'm a beef producer. I don't farm, but
sure.
I'm glad someone does. But I'm just not my thing.
Yeah. Same here. But it's fun, definitely, to try to get something going, at least for the wildlife in the wintertime. I'd love to have some standing crops in the winter for the deer when it does get bad. So,
well, we had such a late winter here, and then there was a lot of guys that couldn't get into them crops because it was so wet. They said winter was late. It didn't really freeze here till November. Think about that. It didn't really freeze here till November. So everything was wet and muddy. And you know where all them deer were? They were in that standing corn.
Yep. I'm sure to save some lives.
Yeah, I knew I had deer on the place, but when my renter finally got it all cut, holy cow, I had way more deer than I thought I had on this place. That's where they were. And I was surprised how many mule deer were in there. And
Gosh, that's great.
I even had a few whitetails. You and I, when we were on KFYR, remember, I thought I do have a group of whitetails that I knew I had some, but not as many as I got here. So it's good to see, but it's going to take some time to get them whitetails back on their feet.
I know, and it's been some years already. It really is a struggle, and I would love to hear other people out there too, just across the entire state, reach out. Like, what are you seeing this winter?
Yeah, here, it's been not too bad. It's been pretty open. We're getting a few cold days. Tomorrow night's supposed to be minus 20 something. But we really haven't had that much snow or cold weather down here. It's not over yet. We still got March and April, and usually that's kind of tough in this area. It can be. Of course, I start calving in April, so I suppose I get a blizzard here about, March 31st. So Matt says, I think the problem is with a lot of the no-till, it's pushed very hard by obviously certain chemical companies because there's much more chemical involved with no-till. Soil health is one thing to let the land take a break. For a year, no-till is just trying to get the land to not. You must be typing on the phone. But yet we're not going to spray every ounce of chemical we have to make it perform. Just my 2 cents. Yeah, I think a lot of things are involved in that. When commodity prices are up, what do? They tear trees out. They got to farm every single square inch, it seems like, fence line to fence line or even over the ditch line. So they're going after that. I had waterways on this place, which I'm going to be restoring, that's what I call them. They're just the grassy parts of a creek that, will run in the spring if there's moisture.
Yeah.
They're not suitable for farming. They should have never been tore up, but that was before I kind of took over this again. And those are going back in probably next year, not this year, but next year, because I just wasn't quite ready for it all yet. I'm about a year behind where I'd like to be, but we'll get them. We'll get them there.
That's for sure.
So yeah, I don't understand it either. And yeah, think about it. No-till is being pushed harder than ever. It is a moisture retention. I can see where that works, but it's not the only practice we should be doing because it does involve more chemical.
Sure.
I think it's been harmful to soil. Just looking at my own place. Now, going back to should we till everything every year? No, we don't need it blowing around. We have I don't know about your area, but it's very sandy here, Dusty. It has a sandy clay base that dries out, and you know what that does.
Yeah.
So we don't want that either. Now the blacktop, the topsoil blew away in the 30s, so there ain't none of that left here. It all went east and south.
Well, I think a lot of this trickles to way back too. Like the farmers now, the input costs are so high. A lot of times the commodity prices aren't worth a darn, so they need to farm as much as possible. And
I was just getting at that, yeah.
And they need a crop. They need bushels to an acre, right? Where if the commodity prices were a little higher and input costs were way lower, where they could leave some corners, for the habitat and just kind of change the farming practice like it used to be, but still do, basically make just as much money.
Well,
with a little better soil health and just better for the wildlife, the ecosystem, just all in general. I know that's way easier said than done, but we definitely need to make a change.
And we saw a lot. Well, it's a pretty complex issue. Really looking at how did we get to here. You take a guy like me, who I've never really farmed much. I'm not a farmer, right? But I love raising cattle, so I've done what I know how to do, right?
Yeah.
And I have rented out my tillable acres. Well, I don't carry debt. Okay. That's a very uncommon thing for a lot of people. I've never gotten an operating note. I don't take loans. I only buy what I can pay for. Well, I can tell you right now, the guys I see operating 10,000 acres and more, they're not debt free. And I think that has created a vicious cycle of government program dependency. You're paying interest. You have maybe overextended yourself a little, especially think about it right now. There's people buying pairs at $4,000 or even just replacement heifers and bred heifers. Someday the payments are going to have to come due, right?
Right.
That market's not going to last forever. So we're even seeing this in the ranching side. What happens if the bottom falls out next year and they're on, right now they're bringing 25 to 3,200. I seen calves selling for $3,200. What the hell? So, and they're not, and and the guy that buys them, they got to take them and put them in a feedlot and finish them.
Right.
There's still a lot to go there. So I don't see how this is sustainable. It's not. It's going to go. So let's say it goes down to 1,500, but these people paid 3,000. So your asset just got cut in half. Well, you probably made your note based on the asset. Now all of a sudden, you don't have enough to cover the note. There's no cash flow. You don't have the cash flow. That's how you get into trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's great for people selling calves. I don't know how people. I mean, it's no different in commodities. You're seeing the same thing. Land. I mean, land's been going crazy everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think it's a false market because of, there's just a lot of money to be loaned. There's programs out there that they're signed up for and things like that. That creates a false market.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm happy for the cattle farmers for sure. They've been getting just beat down for so many years. It's about time that they can.
It's nice. I mean, I know how we did, and I held back about 30 head of replacements for myself. So, I mean, when I look at it going like, should I? Yeah, because I still want to replace. I mean, I try to keep my herd in good shape, and I'm not the biggest producer out here, but we're fine. I guess I have no desire. I could care less if people don't like what the age of my tractor is or my pickup. I just don't care. And I see some of that too. I'm sure we all do, keeping up with the Joneses type thing.
Sure. Well, everybody has their own deal. If that's what they prefer, then that's all right too.
They got to pay for it. That's what I'm not spending $80,000 on a pickup. Just not doing it. I mean, what I have, was expensive enough, and it's probably going to run until it dies because I don't like the new stuff anyway, all the electronics. Tractors are no better. The last brand new tractor that came on this place was bought in 2001. And that's a 7510, and it's fantastic. Bought a used 2012 and can't stand that electronic piece of junk.
Go back to the simple life.
Well, I got a 4440 I love. I got a G1355 Minneapolis, and I got an Alice Chalmers 7. That's a 7460. Yeah, it was a 7540. I don't remember. That's a pretty cool little tractor. It was ahead of its time, but that was built in 1982, and that thing runs like a top. But, all right, I suppose we should get to. We're not even talking. See, I've gotten way off of subject here. Dan says, remember back in the 80s mixing the red powder bag by hand in a cedar? Matt says, I think the problem is with a lot of the notes. No tells pushed hard. Okay, we
got that one, Matt. Yeah, that was a good question, Matt.
Yeah.
Good statement.
Big corporate farmers are pretty much chemically and governmentally run. The small farmers are more of a rational and they care about stuff. I wouldn't disagree with that at all, Eric. I think that's very true. I think you're smaller guys like me. I really care about the land because it needs to be productive, right? I mean, who wants to hurt their own land?
Right, exactly. And a lot of landowners around here, it's generational land, and they admire their properties, which is pretty special.
Well, the place here, this would have been my wife's grandpa's place that was the first owner. Then he died when my father-in-law was very young. My father-in-law was in his 20s. So his dad died like in his 50s, got cancer. I mean, just a different time then. They just didn't have the things to do anything about it. So then him and his mother ran the place, and then they acquired these acres down here that we're on now. But so we're talking, Donnell's the third generation. My boys will be a fourth generation here.
Wow, that's awesome.
I married into it, so.
For family land, that's still pretty special.
Unfortunately, our family land, that was a whole fight between brothers and sisters, and it all got sold. So you know how that goes. So I'm not even going down that road tonight. Even though I was coming from college knowing I didn't want to do that, I was going to try to buy it. But like I said, whole nother story on that one. But high bidders raising up the land prices. Yep. I used to rake hay with a 49 Minneapolis Moline. There you go, with a Z. I can't even tell you the things I've raked hay on. I wonder, Dan, do you remember the old dump rakes and maybe you've taken a turn at them, Dusty, where you sit on the dump rake, little metal seat,
Never have. No.
Oh my God, you got a foot pedal there, and then you get the hit, and that's how they cut it all down with a mower.
Okay.
And then you go and you rake all your windrows and make them with the dump rake.
Man.
Very rough.
Yeah,
Remember, I strapped a pillow on there so it was a little better. So I had a seat belt and I had padding. So,
oh man, life was good.
yeah. Hey, Steve, good evening. He goes, I used it. That's right. I remember Steve. Steve was a NRA volunteer. I knew he had a Moline out there too. Steve, I don't remember yours. Almost seems like yours was about the same age as mine, but I think his was in better shape. So, yeah, no, I got in on all that old stuff with my grandpa and my uncle because they didn't buy new stuff either. Maybe I learned the right way, right?
Still got the job done.
All right, we're a half hour in here. I tell you what, we'll take a quick break here and we'll pay some bills and thank some of our great sponsors like Lauer Auto and the guys I can't say enough about, Axe and the boys down there, 309 South Washington Street. You can't find a better place to get your repair work done. And he's been right here since the very beginning, coming up 3 years already. You know, wow, 3 years on the air already. Amazing. Anyway, stop by and see him down there in Bismarck, North Dakota at 309 South Washington Street. We'll be right back. Maybe we should talk actually CWD. I don't know if you've seen what's happening in Minnesota. Have you seen that, Dusty?
Yeah, we've been keeping up on that in Texas, actually.
So let's get to that. I know it's not 701 related, but it kind of is because they all talk about it in circles. They all talk to each other. So, all right, we will be right back here. Yeah, I got to find the right one. There we go.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
All right, we are back. Leon says, what are you talking about? Big Daddy government cares more about your land and your kids and finances, your health, everything more than you do. Yeah, it's boy, we won't go down that one tonight. By the way, Leon and myself and Vance, we're going to be doing something here. I think maybe we'll start this in February. We three got to get together, but him and I and Vance are all going to try going to be another new show because, I ain't got nothing to do. So I'm not busy or nothing, but I think everybody it isn't going to have nothing to do with guns. It really won't. It's just going to be more of a spiritual based programming, just kind of to mash it up and not necessarily a devotion. So just stay tuned because we're going to be doing something like that. I'm looking forward to it. And if you're not listening to Blackbeard Logic, everybody, every Friday night, do it. Leon's got some great things, and Leon's going to have a very special guest coming up here, Royce White. I think you're going to enjoy that. He's running for the Senate, I believe, out there in Minnesota. So I didn't know who he was either, guys. Don't worry. But he used to be an NBA player, and the guy is solid. He has found Christ, and you can, they're bringing up all his past. That's his past, everybody. We've all been there, okay? Now it's boom, we're here. And I think he's very conservative. And this guy, he's speaking at the North Dakota GOP State Convention in March. So tune into that. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that interview. All right. What do we got we're just kind of stirring up guys here, Dusty. We haven't even said
that's
nothing.
All right. Whatever they want to talk about.
Leon says there must be a bunch of homeschool right-wingers in here, Steve Langley says, I'm ashamed here in Minnesota, but I'm part of the Cows and Rocks. I was like, I remember that when Wall said the Cows and Rocks areas. Really? How dumb is that guy? I mean, insult like 3/4 of the land mass in Minnesota because that's how he said it. Crazy Twin Cities is a problem. Wish I was back in the 701 at times. At least I am back by family. Yeah, then there is that. That's a hard thing to do, right? There are good conservative spots out there in Minnesota, but not Minneapolis. There's probably conservatives living there. Minneapolis and St. Paul are they're done. They're just not going to be good. Steve says all of our tax dollars are getting stolen by illegals. Yep. Oh, let's see. Yep. Damn, Skippy. I am. That was that Leon. I'm sure talking about the right wingers. Absolutely. Good people's justice. Royce is my guy. Just as my wife and I are homeschooling our 5 kids as well. Good for you. If I had to do it today, if I was putting kids in school today, I wouldn't even send them there. We'd be homeschooling. But I looked up homeschooling laws in this state. Whole nother subject. I bet you Leon is very familiar with it, especially because they homeschool their little guys. So not exactly easy when you look at South Dakota. South Dakota if you're going to homeschool, move to South Dakota because they got the best, I think, rules for there, which are pretty they just don't exist, which is great. Leon says, we homeschooled, brother, because we love the kid. There you go. You homeschool because you actually love your children. Now both mine went through public, but I guess they had the right ideology. They weren't afraid to call out a teacher or tell me about it if it needed, and then I stepped in. So I got the gay stuff thrown out of their health class. Yeah, that was a whole nother thing. All right, now let's get back to why we were here, right? Talking CWD. We know what happened in North Dakota. You said you've been following the Minnesota thing, and I'm going to let you start off with that because I think I sent you a link to that too. And here's what I don't get. I was told that CWD primarily only affects mule deer. Ain't a lot of mule deer in Minnesota. And they're raiding whitetail farms, the guys that are raising, game farms. And I can't remember that guy's name off the top of my head, but this is just crazy. So go ahead.
Yeah, so Steve Porter's the big one in Minnesota pushing it over there. And the crazy thing of it is his ranch doesn't even have a CWD detection, but in Minnesota, the legislation in the cities is just out of control and basically putting them out of business. Like if you have one violation on your ranch, they can take your permit away.
Yeah.
Your deer, breeding permit away. And they want to put up through legislation, force the deer farmers to put up a double fence. And if you think about this, for one, they're already fenced in. I mean, we can talk about this all night. For two, a Prion doesn't exist. CW is not even a thing, which he doesn't have a CWD detection anyway. But he's had one violation or two violations, Steve said. One was just a fence violation. And
it was dumb.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, won't put the double fence up. So anyway, he wanted to get it to the Supreme Court, which it doesn't sound like the Supreme Court is going to take it because they're basically making his land worth absolutely nothing because he could hand it down to one kid, I believe, and then that's it. Your ranch and land is worth nothing.
I know. It's crazy.
It's private property rights, abolished. There is none in Minnesota.
Yeah. I wonder if he's talked to those, the American Stewards. They're pretty big in private property rights. They were really fighting 30 by 30 stuff, but they've expanded. I wonder if he's even visited with them. I would hope that'd be on their radar, but I don't know. I know I've been following. He's got, he films these guys, which is great. Isn't it funny how the public servants that we pay, it's our money that they get paid with, they never want to be filmed doing their public job. Do you notice that?
Right, exactly. Well, again, it's just something else we've gotten away from, Clay. Like, if they were more engaged with the public and stuff, that wouldn't be a problem at all. That's how it should be. There should be full transparency inside and out of any agency.
I agree. And Dan, I know watches, and Dan, he comes from an old school of respect. He was with the PD in Dickinson, and he retired there. Different kind of guy. He actually had public relations. He actually was protecting and loved people. He was doing the right thing. So many times today, I don't see that. Growing up in that little town of Lemmon, I mean, the police chief himself at night would walk up and down Main Street in Lemmon and check the doors just to do it, see if they're unlocked. Not that anyone's doing anything. And every once in a while, he'd find the store owner that forgot, and he'd call them, and they'd come down and do it. And then he'd stop there because back then, we didn't sit on our phones as kids. We dragged Maine, and we were out doing stuff. We gathered at the old Super Value parking lot, and it was that was our social networking. That was our gathering. And then he'd stop and say, "Hey, how y'all doing?" And we'd visit with him, and he'd go about his business. That ain't what they do anymore. I've personally seen it in Lemmon when we had our dragging Maine events. Actually, Kalon's Auto, one of our sponsors, our big sponsors right there, Laurel Auto, they were actually out there sponsoring these dragging Maine events so we could all take our cars out and act like we were teenagers again. And yep, there was our local sheriff's department and literally harassing. If you stopped into the parking lot, especially if you were younger, they were harassing them. It's like, really? And it isn't like the place there was bothered by anybody parking in there. I got to tip my hat to a guy named W.A. He's 75, 76 years old. He went ahead and just tore up his Camaro tires just for good measure. Got a ticket for exhibition. He was proud of it too. We're like, yeah, there you go. But I mean, really, it's a different time, isn't it?
It really is a different time. Yeah, we've gotten away from that, and I think we really need to get back to that where, like, the patrolmen would ever come up and just talk to people. Game wardens come up, stop in, talk to landowners. They just got to be more engaged with the public. And like in North Dakota, we've talked about it a lot, but we're going to get back to that because we're taking it into our own hands, Clay.
Yeah. Yep.
The agencies and government forgets that we are the government, the people.
The people. Well, like your shirt always say, and right here, it's not tough to define this, right? We the people, right?
That's right.
And that
no matter what topic it is, whether it's CWD or any other topic. We the people. Yep.
We the people. They're supposed to serve us, and that has been lost. It truly has.
Yep.
I see it even at local levels. Whether it's your township boards, your counties, you don't see it as bad at those two levels. But then you get to your bigger city ordinance or your city councils and some of the ordinances they try to pass, and they always say, "Oh, well, it's for the good of the public. It's for the good of the public." Yeah. Is it what the people wanted? I don't care how good it looks to you for the public well-being. We're not a collective, and we're not supposed to be socialists. We're individual peoples with rights, and they are supposed to represent us as a whole. Plain and it isn't much clearer than that.
No, it's not. It's very simple.
The word I probably dislike the most from politicians is, well, we're protecting democracy. Yeah.
But really, it's quite easy, even if you're in politics or government. I mean, all you got to say, no, I answer to my people.
Well, and that's the easiest thing. So, kind of like the board, I'm on the North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund now. I voted only for 4 of the grants because I thought maybe they were actually what the intended mission was of that board. And I voted against the other 13. So I don't think my friend, the governor, probably was happy with my votes, but I was representing, my own personal feelings to a point, but more so those of Farm Bureau, which is whose seat that is. So same thing. They put me there and nominated me there. So I'm representing, as a Farm Bureau member, I'm representing our policies we just had our state convention in November, and our mission statements when I'm sitting on that board. And that's how I voted. I know not too many people do that. Obviously, by the things I said in that meeting, they weren't used to being questioned on anything.
Which is actually terrible, Clay. I mean, there should be lots of questions when they're just spending money left and right.
There really wasn't. What did we spend? $9 million or something? Yeah. And hardly any, if there was any discussion, it was kind of like the CWD thing. They pat each other on the back and, hey, George, what about yeah, you're right. This here. And yep, that's needed because of this, because didn't you say over here, Steve, we needed this? I mean, I'm sitting there listening to this crap. Going, you know, they're talking in a big circle. And I think I told you that. I know I mentioned it to a mutual friend we have. I said, yeah, I go, so it looks like to me, I said, that all you guys up here talking about all these programs and grants needing all these hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, it's all for the landowner participation. And it's to entice them and to get the landowner to participate. I said, how many years you been doing this? And the landowners aren't ready to participate. I said, do you ever ask why? Because it's the truth.
Simple enough, right?
Right. And I said, I think I'm one of the few landowners on here that actually own, a working operator. There was a couple others, but I go, there is nothing here. And I said, I'm telling you this as a landowner. Nothing here in any one of these grants. The programs you're trying to create, because I said programs are just that. They're programs. They don't have a lot of merit and are always self-serving, those creating them generally. I go, there's not a one of them I would sign up for, because I have to relinquish to some point private property rights. I said, and that's what you guys are missing. I said, most of you guys sit here putting grants in from Game and Fish or from a conservation group, or I said, name your group. And none of you have owned large parcels of an operating ranch farm. You might have a 5-acre plot outside of town where your government job is located, but none of you get the fact that we're not going to give up a private property right. And if it's such a good idea, why wouldn't we just do it ourselves?
Exactly. Well, there's a big problem, number one, Clay.
I mean, you should have just heard the kind of the silence when I said that. So I was the newcomer. Nobody knew who I was, I guess, on there, but I'm pretty sure they won't forget my name in the next meeting coming up in May. Yeah.
We're sure glad you're on there, Clay, though.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I got 3 years, so I bet I'm a one-termer. I will say, at least I was able to get, around 3 or 4 other people to go with me at times. One of them we killed, which I think I told you about, was a season round fish cleaning station on the reservation, which I said, I asked the question, why are we even doing this for a sovereign nation? And that brought silence, because I think people couldn't believe I said the silent thing out loud. And I go, then I asked the question, does North Dakota Game and Fish have one of these? Not a one. People say, well, there's one here and there's one there. But the North Dakota Game and Fish, ironically, doesn't even have year-round seasonal heated fish cleaning stations. But yet here they wanted to put one up in the middle of the reservation. I was like, that don't even make sense to me.
Right. No, it doesn't.
So it did go down in flames. I imagine it will reappear possibly in May. We shall see. But I'll be there in person this time, so maybe I'll get a little more notice of the grants and can actually comb through a little more.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, Alan 3050. He says, "We the people keeping the herd healthy." Is that one of your boys? One of your guys?
What was the name?
Alan 3050.
Alan 3050. I'm not sure.
It's over on YouTube. He says, "To hear with one's ear equals herd. A group of deer, herd." He's got it spelled out. I love it.
Go, Alan.
Matt, Clay, you're not a one-termer. You're an awakener, and you were sent there for a reason. I do believe there was probably a reason I was put on there. I know they wouldn't take the other two guys because I think they both had served before, hadn't they, Dusty?
I'm not sure if they had on that board or not.
I know Daryl had, but I don't know.
Okay. I don't think Dwight had, but
yeah, I can't remember.
He can get on there too. He knows a lot of background and history
of the entire the creation of it.
Exactly. He knows it from the beginning. He's been super behind the scenes.
Him and I, we talk a lot about it. He's a wealth of knowledge. So I mean, he might as well be in the seat.
Well, again, it takes all of us. You got the seat, but then we got a lot of people behind you supporting you too, Clay, and that's a good Yeah, Matt brings up another good point.
And the nice thing was I knew like the North Dakota Stockman's guy, and I believe in the Farmers Union one. There was 3 guys that a lot of times were with me on this stuff. I mean, you could almost see, I could tell just being in that meeting how the feel of the room was going to go. But that's okay. Yeah. I have probably been the only vote at times, and I really don't care. If it's the right thing to do, I will vote no, or I'll vote yes.
Yep.
And that's on any board I've ever been on. So, that Steve Langley, Constitutional Republic. Royce understands that. Yeah, that's when I made the comment about I don't like that word democracy because we're not one.
All right.
Dan, I always say democracy is a verb. Republic is a noun. We have a republic and we use democracy. Okay, yeah. You know, it's a constitutional representative republic. We have a republic. You know, what was they saying? You know, what kind of government have you given us? A republic if you can keep it. Well, it's getting tougher, isn't it?
Yeah, more people are waking up, though.
I don't know. Have I ever given you one of them? Oh, I'll have to. You know what that is? That's the Constitution of the United States. Yep. And yeah, this one's worn. I got one that's even more worn. I think I have them in every suit jacket I have and every coat. So
that's all you need, right?
I've even handed it to legislators and teachers, a government teacher in particular, because she couldn't answer my questions on the Constitution, but yet was teaching that class. Yes, I handed her one. And I'll get to her credit. The next time I seen her, she evidently read it, or she read it somewhere, because she actually had the knowledge finally when I quizzed her again. But,
great.
I don't know. If you're teaching the Constitution and government, I think you probably should know how many amendments are in the Constitution and what they call the Bill of Rights, right? I mean, pretty simple stuff, but yeah.
You're teaching our kids. You better know.
She couldn't even tell me what the 19th Amendment was. I said, well, you probably should know that one. I mean, I mean, if you don't, I guess to me, if you don't know what it is, you probably shouldn't get to exercise that right. No voting for you. Leon says, it's a Democrat talking point to make us believe that we are a direct democracy. You're right. And that's the deal. It's a term. Terminology means everything in politics, whether it's what you and I are talking about, like CWD, the terminology is everything. You know, they come up with a prion. Well, okay. I learned what a prion, the definition of a prion was in grade school, and had nothing to do with CWD. You know,
very important.
And I think that the government, I think that's why they use so many acronyms, right? Because when they do that, just put the first letters out. Unless you go research it, do you know what they are?
You know, a lot of times you don't. I think absolutely that's intentional for confusion and deception. And I mean, it's just, they don't make it black and white on purpose.
Right. And that's what I'm getting at. They did it on purpose so that the normal everyday guy wouldn't understand unless they'd had enough intuitive thought process to go check it out.
Yep.
That's sad, right? I mean, when our founders made this, if you ever read the Constitution, its articles, even the Declaration of Independence, it's written in pretty plain English. And that was on purpose because there was a lot of people didn't even read and write, but they might have had a very basic skill. So they made it as easy and simple. There's nothing written into there that isn't clear as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, that's right. I mean, just to go for another example of deception and using it wording against us is the North Dakota was the baiting bill that we've talked about before. Yeah. Like, you can't place the bait for the purpose of hunting. Well, we never even had a baiting bill because our game and fish can't control the feeding of wildlife.
Right.
So it should really have been a hunting restriction. Like, that's totally deception of the people. And it took us years to look into it. And I read that one day and it just clicked with me like, wait a minute, this says for the purpose of hunting. It doesn't say that we can't feed wildlife.
Right.
I mean, it just.
Yeah, it was a hunting restriction.
Sadly, that propaganda works.
And that's what they touted. I mean, the media grabbed onto that, and that's all you heard in the media was baiting bill.
Yep, baiting bill. Yep.
I remember when I was on with Todd, I was in the studio, like, Todd, quit calling it that. Well, that's what it says here. So don't mean it's right. Exactly. Don't call it that.
Exactly.
I said, just call it a hunting bill. And then he did, but then he kind of forgot because I get it. It's repetitious, and if you say something that much, it's hard to break it. It truly is.
Yep.
And they do. That's what they do. It's just like assault weapon. Well, that term come about in the 90s to scare people. And it worked.
Yeah, absolutely it did. Yep.
That's how we ended up with the, quote, assault weapons bill, even though that wasn't its official name. And it was going to pass because the Democrats own the House, they own the Senate, and they had Clinton in the White House. That bill was passing, and that's when several people, myself, even though I was just a kid in high school, we were fighting it. And the NRA was fighting it. So we weren't going to win that battle, so they litigated it as best they could, which gave it a sunset clause and removed most of the guns on there. People didn't understand that. The others were on the other side because they'd heard assault weapon. To them, everything that was a black gun was an assault weapon. It's just stupid. No different with the baiting bill.
Exactly.
Everybody thought you're baiting deer, and I don't know how many arguments I had with people. They're like, well, you think you should put a pile of corn out and shoot a deer over it? And I go, well, yeah, I do. I think I should be able to do that, but that ain't the point. It isn't baiting. We're not, because you can't actually bait like you're thinking in the States. It's a feeding thing, and it's a hunting bill. It basically says you can't hunt over bait. And I go, so it's a hunting bill, not a baiting bill. They had it in their mind that we're out there going, here, little deer, come over here, Bambi. I got some corn for you. And then we slit its throat or something. I don't know.
Well, I even got Jeb to admit it at one of the meetings, like, is this really what this says? And he's like, yeah, it's our thought that there would be less piles out there to spread this fake prion. Yeah. It's like it's total deception of the people. But we have to realize these individuals, like Jeb included, they go to these meetings in other states, and they're working together with the same individuals, same mindset people from all these other states, and this is how they come up with this. And that's why we have to wake up, do the research, reach out to people. We have to build our own little army to fight back against all this propaganda, because they've thought about this and been doing this for years.
And they don't pay for it out of their pockets. That's just it. You and me or NRA, say an organized group of people, whatever it might be. When you think about what we actually accomplish in different areas, it's kind of amazing, really, because they have the power of the purse. Yep. They have a government budget. They have CWD funding up the wazoo from the feds and the state.
Right.
Different groups have bought into it. Groups like Mule Deer Foundation. I call them the Fur, Fish, and Feather groups. They're right on board, most of them, with it.
Yeah, almost 95% of them are right.
And they also hate your property rights, but that's a whole nother subject.
Yep.
But this is what I'm getting at. When you think about who we go up against and how many times we win, it's actually quite satisfying, really. Yes, it takes time, but we do it on a very minimal budget. And we talk truth. And I think where that has changed in the last 10 years, from the days of me being down there, beating on doors and talking to people and giving them papers, is we all have one of these now. And so if you at least can convince them enough to doubt it, they'll go look themselves. And I think that's how we win, because people are doing that more. And then they go, oh, wait a second. Or shows like this. Shows like Daryl's.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know a lot of people don't care for Michael, but Michael's a friend of mine. But shows like Michael's, Dakota Mornings, there's a lot of things on there. Like, I get on there, and I'm glad to be on there because I also can spread that message there. And that's a whole other group. Leon's he usually gets on with Kevin over there, over in Fargo, I think, on the flag. So when you start thinking about our reach, it gets quite big.
You're exactly right. And I'm super proud of, like, North Dakota, especially after seeing these other states, Clay, because these other states are battling so hard. People are waking up. But what we accomplished here in North Dakota, I'm super proud of all the people of North Dakota.
Well, I'm glad I heard about you. I came to your battle late. I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't really heard of it. Can you imagine that? And then someone, I don't even remember if I just heard you on Daryl's or somebody told me about you. I was like, oh, I got to talk to this guy.
Right.
And we found out we got a lot of things in common.
A lot of things in common, like-minded, absolutely. Sharing pictures and becoming good friends. And that's the cool part about this CWD journey. Now, I'm just using CWD because that's what we're passionate about, but you can do this on a lot of topics that's going on in the world. But this is just taking us places, Clay, that we could never even dream or imagine. Me and my wife have met so many unreal people, and some of them like you are some of our closest friends now through this journey. And like this shirt I'm wearing, you know, through the page, a guy reached out, I believe he's from Kansas, and he bought me and my wife one of these shirts that they're selling, and they have other states too. I mean, it's truly amazing, Clay. It really
I'm going to have to make that one myself. I really like that. Chronically wasting dollars.
That's the real CWD right there.
Speaking of, I forgot to tell everybody, I even have a good right here. That's the new Guns and 701 sweatshirt, everybody. They're kind of cool looking. Yeah. I got in the wrong spot, but they really did turn out pretty good. So yeah, head over to our website, gunsand701.com, and get yourselves ones. I mean, they're good quality. They're the zipper front. I do wear more of them now, but that's a quality sweatshirt. I think it's probably better than the ones I'm making. So, and they do them cheaper, and I don't have to do them. You get on there, you click. I seen we had a sale right before we come online, so that was pretty cool. So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, hey Leon, you know what? Give me your size, Leon. You're part of the GAT701 network. I know I can get you a little better deal than on the website. I got, but I don't control that one. We get the profit off of it after the split, but it's not a lot. Trust me, we're not going to be like quitting our day job or anything. So, but yeah, let's get to a couple of these. We got quite a few in here. We go back. Yeah, Democrat talking point. Steve says, in retirement, I've finally been able to read the entire Constitution. A lot of stuff in there most do not learn or know. I'm still learning. Good. That's good to hear, Stephen. You're never too old to learn, are you? Ever. I'm 51 years old, Dusty, and I learn new things every day. You know, I always thought at 40 I was done learning, but boy, was I wrong.
Well, I think, you know, if you stop growing, you kind of start dying. So you might as well keep learning and keep growing.
Well, I think if you stop learning, it means you stop caring, meaning you're not engaged or involved then in the course of your life. Because if we're not engaged, you know, on a scriptural basis, on a spiritual basis with God, you know, looking at what our government's doing, because remember, these are our rulers, right? Well, it's a horrible term, but they're the ones elected. And if we're not engaged in that battle on all levels, we're in trouble.
Exactly. Right.
I'm not going out on my knees. I'm telling you that. To a sword. It's not happening. But yeah, you live in a representative republic. A lot of people don't even know what an acronym means. That's what I said. You're right. People don't. It's amazing what people don't know, right? Leon says, yeah, 100%. He goes, I had a purple-haired thing with a septum ring tell me that the founding fathers didn't know about modern weapons when they wrote the 2A, Second Amendment. I said, they didn't know about modern women either in the 19th. I like that one. Nice job, Justin. Good. Leon says, I baited my wife with chocolates and cheesecake. That's how he did it. I knew it. He married up, so I think we all did. So Dan says, a lack of education and uninformed people is the downfall of us. And it's on purpose. I see what they're teaching in government schools, also known as public education in college and universities. I mean, I was just in a chat that went on one of our text chats, and this guy's daughter, who he's paying tuition to, send her to St. Cloud to go to college. And they had this chart they had to look at as oppressors and oppressed. And they had white male, religion, oppress everybody else. I mean, this is the crap they're teaching. What does that got to do with anything? Nothing.
Scary. It's scary, really. And our younger generation, you know, we definitely have some work to do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Steve, he said, baiting the wife, Blackbeard, huh? Good one. Who's slogging in beer. There you go. Matt says, with the number of supposed detections being way down this year, do you guys both feel that we need to go back and get the sunset clause removed in the 27 season? I mean, I'm sure he means the legislative season on that bill. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I know what I think, but I'll let you go ahead. And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, personally, it just needs to be, yes, we need to, the sunset needs to be gone. But if I'm not mistaken, Clay, the sunset, I think the bill is actually just dead in 4 years with the sunset on. I don't think there's any taking it off. We need to come with a new bill, but we need to keep in mind the governor is in charge of the game officials, you know, the proclamation, and it's just a proclamation. We don't need to put this into law. Right. We already proved everything we need to prove. There's going to have no more. The number's not going to be any higher. the CWD just needs to be off the game official's website, and this needs to go away. And that's my personal opinion. We shouldn't have to, spend hours into legislation for something that doesn't even need to be there. We already proved what we needed to prove.
We did, and actually you did. I said I came late to that game, and then of course I got involved. But
yes, we did. We appreciate it too.
But here's the way I look at it. I know how the proclamation thing works because that's how I got 50 cals put in. And if anyone don't know it, yes, you can hunt big game now. There actually isn't a limit on the size at the top end now. They just removed it. It was .499.
Really?
You couldn't use, which is the intent was 50 caliber. And I went back and forth and get this. I had at that time, was he a rep or a senator? I think he was. Can't remember if Jeff Magrum was the senator or the rep at the time. I think he was in the Senate, and he was going to carry the bill that we were going to lift that and get it above the 50 cal. Because why not? We've proven that you can take a 50 cal and you can hunt big game with it. There's videos all over now, but you couldn't really do it anywhere except on a private farm with private animals. So, and that was because of Eric's brother, Ryan. He wanted to shoot one with a 50. He's like, we can't even do it. So I said, I might be able to help you with that. So I was ready. We had the bill drafted. We got it going. Jeff was ready to introduce it. And I think he did get it submitted to Legislative Council. Jeb catches wind of it. Jeff calls me and says, hey, Jeb wants to kind of have a sit down, have some coffee and talk about this. He goes, what do you think? I go, well, I said, I guess it don't hurt, but he didn't want me there.
Of course.
And Jeff comes back and finally calls. He goes, so here's what's going to probably, Jeb's thinking a proclamation, and he's willing to put that in writing that it would never change while he's there, and submit it and eliminate that, basically that top. It's funny. He found out I was the guy pushing it, and he did not want to, for whatever reason, he did not want this coming into the legislature and being debated, and I don't know why. Well, I probably do, because I can move it if I need to.
Right.
And there was no reason. I mean, I was ready too. I was kind of disappointed. Like I told Jeff, man, I was ready. I said, the way it was written, I mean, you couldn't technically use a 50 caliber, muzzle loader because it banned 50 calibers. And that's what I was going to get the muzzle loader people all fired up, because I know a lot of people use like 54 calibers and bigger. It would have eliminated if I wanted to take a 50 AE, handgun. It wasn't illegal to use a handgun for certain things, but I wouldn't have been able to use that because it didn't meet the requirement on caliber. There was just a ton of other things other than just big game. So long story short, they made it into a proclamation. It's still in there today, and that was under Burgum, so it stands. Wow. So proclamations are a good way to at least get your foot in the door. A little different with that. If I ever hear of anybody trying to change it, then I'm going to want it codified in the Century Code. But with your deal, with the CWD thing, we need to watch it, I think. See when those bills, we need to put our feelers out in our own circles with the legislators that we know and see if anything's being talked about. Because when that sunsets, there's going to be a lot of info, and it's not favoring to keep CWD unit even.
Right. So
that's where, do we push it and get it codified in the law? Because I am positive that it would be signed under the current governor. Okay. And just take that for what it is. I'm pretty confident he'll sign that after discussions. We don't need it. It's not real, and it's not the cause. And now we're going to have the numbers to back that.
Exactly. Yep.
So it'd be easier, I think, to make it push through. I don't know. But I think, though, like you said, let's get it in a proclamation. Get the foot in the door and get it on the record. That's probably a very good way to start it. Maybe we don't have to push it, but you get a new. Someday Jeb's gonna retire, one way or another, and then who's gonna follow his place? That'll be the big thing. So,
right, for sure. But again, we the people just need to keep doing what we're doing, and more people get involved, and we just need to keep our agencies in check too.
Yep.
They still work for us, and they need to listen to the people, and they haven't been. So,
yeah,
we're not letting up. No intentions of letting up. We're actually just Our army's getting bigger, Clay.
Yeah. Well, and to let Matt know that just what Dusty said, we're not going anywhere. And if anyone knows me, I like a good fight in the legislature. It doesn't bother me in the least. It just takes a lot of time out of my day.
Right. A lot of phone time. Yep.
It does. The nice thing is now, my network got bigger by meeting you because you know a lot of people on this subject. Most of my background, of course, is in Second Amendment issues, but I've gotten involved in some ag issues, especially with private property rights. I'm on this new board. That's opening my eyes to a lot of things I could think of changing in the legislative session.
Sure.
Probably an uphill battle, but I'd like to see a change in the structure of that entire way. That I don't think that board's going away. I know that a lot of us have opinions of that, but I mean, do you really see that board ever going away and that being gone? Because I don't. Not once it was established.
Maybe not anytime soon, but I'm not saying never.
I'll never say never, but for right now, we have to deal with it. So I think we need to make some changes in there. To me, there's not enough oversight. I mean, I watched some of these things go through. I was like, really? So yeah, I think there needs to be some changes as to what can be funded, and I mean specifically because it's pretty broad what can and can't be funded and who can apply. So
Clay, can you explain to like the people listening too, as far as the Outdoor Heritage Fund, like just real quick, explain to them, because a lot of people probably don't even know what the Outdoor Heritage Fund is.
Like I didn't.
And how do the Game and Fish get their funding through that?
So they can apply for grants. So the Outdoor Heritage Fund is the money that comes off of the oil revenue royalties. I forget what the percentage of that is, but it comes out to about $1 to $1.5 million a month drops into that fund. For anybody that's wondering, yes, 12 to 13 or plus million. It can be sometimes up as 15 or 16. So that gives you an idea. That's where it's coming from, and that's where it's dropping into. And that's the monies that are collected from royalties and that whatever that percentage was. With that, then there's a board. The board consists of several different members, myself included, representing Farm Bureau, Farmers Union, North Dakota Stockman's. I'm trying to think of, I think Rocky Mountain, just pretty much any of these fur, fish, and feather groups have a seat there. And then there's several other, how they put them, at-large type board members. Anyway, it's a large board. And then you submit grants. Well, the people that qualify look like to me just about any governmental agency. There are a lot of foundations, like the Petroleum Foundation, which I liked. What I voted for that one because they don't take any government assistance for anything. They're completely independent. They come out. There's not a lot of there's no. The only thing they ask is if you put in trees, they'll put them on your land. They want you to upkeep them. They don't care how you plant them. They'll plant kind of what you want, how you want them. And then you take care of them. And that's actually, to me, probably the truest form of the mission of the Outdoor Heritage Fund, which is conservation and wildlife. Because putting that on government or on private land and have it there and have the landowner take care of it, because the landowner's going to take ownership in that, really. I mean, think about it. If I did that, I mean, I'm going to be taking care of it because I want it to grow, and it's at no cost to the landowner. So I like that one, so I voted for that one. But it's to me, that followed the mission. But I voted against one over by Enderlin to put in, I forget how many $1 million path around the town with not a dirt path. This was a concrete or asphalt path to walk and learn about nature and songbirds and blah, blah, blah. No, to me, that was not part of it. I didn't really feel that was part of the mission of the actual fund when you read its true mission statement. And I think that has been very stretched into some of these things. So I don't know if that helps everybody, but that's what the North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund is. Just go on your web search engine and look up North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund, and you'll see a lot of stuff. But yes, Game and Fish is able to apply, and that's how they get some money through there. One of the projects they wanted was a boat dock or ramp or something, an additional one on the James River over by Jamestown. I felt the one they had was sufficient, and I voted no. I don't believe in spending money for the case of spending money because it's there. It's just never has been my thing. So I think we need to set some things too, like what we did with NRA. Priorities. What is our priority at this board meeting to fund? If it doesn't fit in that priority, according to, falling within the mission statement, then you look at all them grants and you toss them out because they're not meeting your priority. If you're not getting your criteria on that priority list, throw it out. It doesn't need. This is the thing. Them people on that board right now think that every single grant should be heard. I disagree. I think they ought to be, like I said, we as a board should set a priority list with criteria. And it doesn't have to be the same every time we meet. And then look at the grants and how they meet that. That would make the money go to where it's intended according to the mission of the creation of that fund. I encourage everybody to go there. Just go to the website, check it out. I mean, did that explain it pretty good, Dusty?
Yep. No, I think you did a pretty good job. So as far as like the Game and Fish goes, Clay, like what other grants did the Game and Fish bring to the Outdoor Heritage Fund?
Oh my goodness. I should have brought, honestly can't remember them all, Dusty.
Okay. Yep. But most of them were decent or?
No.
But none of them really did. Okay.
I think I voted for one.
Okay.
Of theirs. Okay. I only voted for 4 out of the entire group of grants. And, that's the ones I felt actually met the criteria that I feel that the Farm Bureau had and the intent of the North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund.
Okay.
I know they had some. What's that?
Oh, I just got another question for you, just kind of for the listeners. So the money that comes in, the 12, 13 million, like how many agencies does it get funneled out to?
So I know like, Game and Fish had one in there. I believe Bureau Rec had one. I think it was them. Of course, the tribe, they had one in there. The something like that one in Enderlin, some kind of organization. They all went and formed their own things too, by the way, so they could volunteer.
Okay. Yep.
A lot of foundations. I can't remember them all.
Okay.
Several of them were created, you could tell, just so they could apply for funding.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, there was 17 different entities, organizations, or agencies that applied for grants.
Okay.
And of course, it was funny. And that's why I made the comment that I didn't see a lot of landowner support letters. It was this agency going, "Yep, attaboy, we love this one," and then they'd write. It was the circle of corruption. Probably ain't the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. It's the circle of establishment.
Yeah, and that's why I want the people to know too, because a majority of people out there probably don't know about the Outdoor Heritage Fund and like how, where are the Game and Fish and some of these agencies getting the money from? Like, that's where we need to get back to as a state, not so much federally, but as a state, because we're included. We've been complacent for years. The last 6-7 years, we really got involved and engaged, and this is this kind of stuff we need to learn, where the money's coming from, who's involved, and
yeah,
so I'm
and
glad you've been there, Clay, too, just to help educate all of us.
I can tell you that you can go and look at all them. In fact, just give me a minute here. I'm going to post it now.
And it might be a little off topic for some, people, but at the same time, this is super important where this money's coming from and the grants being applied for.
Yep, right there. If you go right there, and I can, anybody wants it, email me at gunsandthe701.com, and I'll get you a link. And you'll be able to go right to that website, and you'll be the Outdoor Heritage Fund grant rounds 29 through 20. And they're all there, the application summaries, the proposals, and you can read every single one of them. And you'll see what you think about them, because I didn't believe that they all deserve to be funded. I really don't. And that's the way I believe. And I can tell you that was Farm Bureaus, which the seat I hold, that's pretty much our policy book. It exists. We have a seat, so let's make sure that we can fulfill the mission of the actual Outdoor Heritage Fund, not just a big old slush fund. Is the way I don't like slush funds. I can tell you that the new chairman, she was the one that wrote a support letter for the one in Enderlin, so we know where she stands. Now on the Farm Bureau, but our policy book, which is dictated by the delegate floor, that's me and all the other members. Yeah, it doesn't fall in that line. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. And yeah, anybody got any? If you ever want to ask me about it, please do, because I'm new to it, but I've learned a ton in a short period of time. And it's, personally, if it was up to me, either we restructure it or it needs to go away, because I don't believe it's completely, truly fulfilling the intent of it. I think when it was started, it was a good PR thing between oil, gas, the energy sector, to actually give something back, to conservation. But everybody's term of conservation doesn't fall in line, does it?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's why we just need more transparency with that too. It's not just CWD. It's just another topic we need to get involved in and see who's at the table and where the money's going and where these agencies want to spend it.
Yes, yeah. I see there's a question here. Is the DOT affiliated with the Game and Fish? I don't think they might do projects together, but especially when they're going across certain litigated acres, and when that happens, like on a road project. But I really couldn't tell you, because I know that over at Coal Lake, the DOT has land that the Game and Fish manage. DOT, maybe it's a different DOT. I don't know, Dan. I really don't. I do know that sometimes, like good examples down at Shade Hill Reservoir south of me, that's all Bureau of Rec and or Army Corps of Engineers land. And what they have done there is they have contracted the South Dakota Game and Fish to manage certain Bureau of Rec lands, like where my cabin's at. So they do some of that. It's literally a contract, basically a subcontract to manage it for them. So maybe there's some of that going on. I really don't know. Could be. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Okay, he says here, I contracted fencing for Falkirk Mine. I did all the fencing around it. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't answer that question. I really don't know. I know where you're at. I know what you're talking about, but I'm just not. I haven't spent a lot of time up in that area, so I don't know. I know. Do you know anything about it, Dusty?
Nope, I don't. I can't say anything on that one.
Well, I know one thing, Dusty. I want to get up to your place. I want to see what you did, especially the things I'm planning to do here. Maybe I'll steal some ideas. You know what I mean?
Well, again, it just takes all of us working together. We're gonna get North Dakota straightened out and get our game back.
Yeah, absolutely. I see. Eric somewhere said just because you put corn there don't mean the big. Yeah, says just because you got corn out doesn't mean big deer are going to show up, especially during shooting hours. Well, that's very, very true.
That's right.
This year it kind of worked though. Like I said, there were some nice bucks taken off this place this year, but yeah, it helps, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. I do have something there that probably will help that a little, because I know that those two quarters are breeding areas. I mean, that's where I found all the drops all the time, and I know it, especially for whitetails. There's a lot of mule deer hang out there too. There's also a huge parcel of government access land that's owned by the taxpayers, Forest Service land. So that gets hammered, and then all them deer run on the mine because they know that, well, they're safe. So
right.
I might as well give them a nice place to stay, right?
Absolutely. Keep them there.
Let's see why does the DOT have land around Coal Lake anyway? Justin's asking. I don't know. Eric says, how big is that beard on that turkey? That's for you. That's a question for you, Dusty, behind you.
8-9 inches on Moe's. I think we got 10 and a half, but I'm actually a hook hunter if Eric's a turkey hunter, but
okay.
I stuck one turkey, had a 3.5 inch beard a few years back, and he's got 1 7/8, almost 2 inch hooks. And I spotted those through my spotting scope 500 yards away, Clay.
Wow.
Actually, I got the bird mounted. I am a turkey nut for sure, but
Dusty's gonna have to come down here, isn't he, Eric, and get some of my tame ones. They get so big here. Remind me, Eric, was that one 26 pounds? Yeah.
Jeez, that's a big bird.
So that was just, there was 2 of them there.
Wow, that's a big tom for a wild bird.
Well, I've got them. They stick around here, and they go between my place. They sometimes wander south here and go into town, or they go to the creek across. But they're primarily here.
Okay.
Usually around hunting season, and they get pretty used to us. I mean, really, it was the perfect hunt for both of his kids because they didn't really, go anywhere. They were able to walk out there and get them. So,
that's awesome.
He said, 26 pounds. Yeah.
Bet.
You don't even have to call much, probably. Just kind of sneak up on them and go, boom, So.
Yeah, I take a lot of kids out in the spring, for their first or second turkey, and I absolutely love it.
Well, I'll have to keep an eye on them because you're more than welcome to come give it a whirl. I mean, pretty easy to get a turkey tag. I don't think anyone's ever got denied for that.
No, that's awesome. Appreciate it. That's one thing. North Dakota's got a lot of birds, a lot of turkeys, pheasants, population. With this easy winter, our birds are unbelievable.
So, like right now, and it usually happens around end of November, that group of mine, they leave. And I think they go down into Hay Creek down here because they don't leave the area. They just move.
Yep.
But come back spring, they'll be here, and then they start mating up and all that. And then during the summer, I see the hens, not the gobblers so much, and then come back around fall. I don't know. It's just,
they come again.
It's kind of their pattern. It really is. So
yeah, well, they're kind of like deer. They kind of winter up too. They got their winter ground. So,
but I can tell you, I can get you on some land up on the river north. I mean, that guy wants all them turkey. I think he wants them all dead.
Probably a lot of guys are like that.
They go out and tear his fields up something horrible up there. So I know that if you came, we could put you. I can't guarantee you'll see turkey. They're a little wilder up there, but they're there. So yeah, if you need a place to turkey hunt,
awesome, appreciate it.
If you want a South Dakota tag, I'm sure Corey would let you kill them all too. But that's harder to get a tag down there in Perkins County. That's a draw.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. Eric says, "Are you a decoy and call person or a spot and stock?" He says, "I love the decoy and call them. It's so exciting."
I'm with their decoy. In fact, I got real amount of decoys, Clay. Tom Menahan, real amount of decoys, and they work so well. They could be outlawed. It's pretty amazing.
Entrapment, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we went all over the place tonight. But tell you what, let's take our big break. We're really doing horrible on breaks tonight. Good thing this is just podcasting, right?
That's
right.
I don't
have to follow them radio breaks. But let's go ahead and take a quick one. Thank all 4 of our sponsors tonight. And then we'll come back and I don't know. We got plenty. We can talk turkeys or deer or guns we can go anywhere, can't we?
You bet. That's right.
All right. Stay with us here, guys. We'll go and thank some sponsors and pay some bills. We'll be right back.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
Gear for every and any situation. Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
And welcome back. And yes, we've been talking about everything here with Dusty Backer. Backer bees. We haven't even talked about bees because I like talking about bees. I know it's been even though I'm allergic to them, it's been a new interest of mine. But Corey says yes. I can comment now. He says, get a tag for South Dakota turkeys. Pretty sure all the neighbors will let you shoot turkeys too. So
Awesome, Corey.
there are a ton of turkeys down there. It's south of Lemmon down here. So I'm about 20 miles to the east of Lemmon, and then it's about 15, 20 miles down there in that area. So it's not that far. I mean, I'm what? I always say I'm about 100 miles from Bismarck. So
okay, yeah, not too bad then. Probably a couple hours from our place. So I
mean,
appreciate that.
So where are you at exactly?
Northwest of Bismarck, 30 miles.
Okay, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I'm right about 100 miles right to my doorstep from like the outskirts of Mandan.
Yep. So we're about half hour, so a couple hours from you is all.
I mean, it's usually an hour and a half. You can do it in an hour, 5 minutes, I found out one time. But anyway. The wife went into labor, so I was hauling butt.
I bet.
I kind of drive fast anyway. But they're getting kind of crazy on that road anymore. It gets patrolled a lot between Flasher and Mandan.
Okay.
Pretty constant. So. All right, so I don't know. I know you guys are talking turkeys. I seen that Dan and Justin are talking about up by Falkirk. That sounds like a show to put on Leon's. He covers lots of different stuff. Maybe Dan and you guys and Leon should get together and talk about what's going on with that land. I don't know anything about that with what they're talking about with the land up there.
Yeah, and I know a lot of friends up there that used to even work for the Falkirk mine, but I don't know much about it, I guess.
But yeah, no, we got turkeys. I know that they got turkeys down there. I like seeing a few. I mean, at one time I had something like 27, 28 turkeys, which was too many in the yard.
Sure.
So I let a bunch of people hunt that year. See, management.
Take it in your own hands.
Yeah, I mean, us evil landowners, they won't let you hunt no matter what. Not true.
Not true.
Took 10 deer out of here. I see my buddy Kelly was on a little bit earlier here. I imagine he's still on here, but Kelly and his sons, they took some nice deer off of here. My other friend Chavez and does. So we had a good time. We took 10 deer off this place, which that's a lot in a normal year. But then after I started seeing the numbers, and probably could have taken 10 more the way it looked, but that's okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. Have you heard much about the rest of the part of the state, Clay?
I haven't. I don't know how. I just haven't heard a lot. I know up by that Valley City area where I went ice fishing with my buddy Kelly there. Boy, he wasn't kidding. We saw a few whitetails, but there's nothing left up there. I mean, there truly isn't. You just don't see deer. I mean, you should see deer running around with all the food.
Yeah, you should this year, especially.
But they got a lot. They've torn out tree rows. You can see that they're farming it. Fence line to fence line. There ain't no fences up there. Road line to road line. I mean, every little bit, even little creek areas. And then where they do leave some stuff, there's nothing on it. There's areas, there's deer, I guess, but for the most part, you just don't see deer up there. And I don't know if EHD took a bunch out of them or if they're just, the way the farm ground is. I mean, farm ground is not habitat. I mean, we've said that before. Remember we had that discussion. It's temporary habitat.
Right.
But it's not sustaining habitat.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe how few deer I seen driving out there, in all honesty. Even when I got on the 2 lanes, it's like, man, you should at least see something out here. And nothing.
Man, that is sad. I'll tell you what, if we didn't even have mule deer here, we're just 10 miles west river, I'd call it, from the Missouri River.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have mule deer, we'd be in trouble. Like we've talked about before, this is 4 or 5 years after the EHD outbreak. And
yeah,
man, there used to be, I'm not kidding you, hundreds of whitetail that wintered around our place. And it's still 30 to 50. I mean, and that's just where they're wintering. If you leave that area, you're not even going to see a whitetail. You drive for several days. I mean, I spent a month of December, and yeah, I know my pockets here, but if it wasn't for mule deer, you would hardly see a deer every day.
Well, I don't see, I mean, I finally saw some this year, right?
Yep.
And I kind of told everybody, I don't care how big it is, you can't shoot no whitetails. I need them to live.
Right. A couple more years.
Yep. And then they're finally getting over that hump, because I saw more and then when that corn come off, I saw several more. So that's a good thing.
Yep, that is.
And I think they're staying here. I've been up there a few times. They're actually up in there. They're staying there. So come on, that's great. I'm glad to see them staying. They didn't just get pushed in. So let's see. Kelly Chase had my buddy there. He says, friends loaded up 150. Quit counting the starved illegal to feed. So evidently they're starting the weather. They're getting in groups, it looks like to me.
Okay.
Dan says, we have muleys on our land just west of Falkirk Township. Eric, he says, yeah, they were whitetails too. Eric said, yesterday I saw a group of about 250 deer, and there were probably 50-ish deer that scored 135 or better. 3 bucks together. There were about 155, and it was a crazy sight. So that's good to hear. That's in South Dakota down there.
I'm guessing. Okay, I'll say that's a big number, yeah.
Matt Sikora, he says, overharvest by the Game and Fish Department on doe tags specific aligned to trying to get more testing done for CWD and other cases. Yes. And I saw that here. I'm in 3F2, CWD. And I mean, I don't know how many years we've had 1,500 plus doe tags. And it just, there is no way that there's just not enough deer to sustain that kind of tag number. There just isn't.
Right. And people need to know too, like the Game and Fish give outs, they do this behind the scenes too, Clay. They give out extra tags in your unit because it's a CWD unit. Where like Missouri, here are these other states calling all these deer. Well, North Dakota is doing it. Yeah. They're just letting the hunters do the work.
Yes. They're not even, so they come down here. I mean, I've got deer, but I have my hunters, right? I mean, right. And in some years I don't let anybody. This year has been good. But I manage what I think. I know what's on this place. Granted, other deer get chased in here when season over, but there is a group that stays here. They're not specifically on my land every day, but they're in this area.
Yeah.
And I kind of can see the size of that herd. So just because you get a tag that doesn't mean you're going to get to hunt. And that's what happened to them in antelope season this year. Remember, Game and Fish, they used it. So think about what they did. Ha on you, if you guys fell for this. You guys pushed for that legislation and you push for tags. All they're doing is taking your money. They don't care if you fill or not. Right. They take your money. And if you're looking for, I know some of these guys, they apply a lot and build up points to get, a buck tag in this unit for mule deer or an antelope tag. Well, during the antelope season, I saw more antelope hunters than I've ever seen, and I knew I would. And a lot of people burned up a lot of points, and now they reset to 0. Good job. I mean, this wasn't a landowner thing, but we got blamed for it. And it definitely benefited Game and Fish. I mean, let's face it, they were able to clear out a whole bunch of points by putting out 180 tags in this unit, which we hadn't seen 180 tags in this unit. The population wasn't there for it.
Wow.
And half of them went to other people. And then, of course, myself was one of the few landowners that got put into the draw because it hit that threshold, and I didn't draw one. So then I closed it down completely.
Sure. And you're not the only one. I've heard a lot of stories.
No. So, way to go, Game and Fish. You guys, yeah, it was good for you. You got to collect the money. And you got to clear out a bunch of people's points. And now you have a whole bunch of pissed off people, and they're mad at the wrong people.
Yeah, and that's the problem, too. Game and fish, they shoot themselves in the foot, Clay. Like, they'll be coming, oh, no, we're neutral. We didn't have anything to do with that. Well, in legislation, Game and Fish has a lot of power, unfortunately. Yep. And if they want something dead, it's pretty tough because they got the chairman right behind them in the committees. So all they had to do, they could have shut that down in a heartbeat.
Oh, I call Game and Fish, I call them the biggest fee hunting operation in the state. Well, in any state, really. They control everything, all the narratives, all the tags, and they set prices and they set numbers. And that's just the fact of it. So Kelly, right there, I didn't quite understand. He said, so friends loaded up about 150. They quit counting because of the starved deer, and it was illegal to feed them because that was years ago there. So that's what that area's talking about. Valley City, I didn't see no deer. That was just one group.
Sure, and that was just a couple winters ago, I think, huh?
Yep. And they just quit counting because they were dying. I remember him telling me about that when we were driving around, and it's a shame, really.
It is.
So there are areas like up there, there's just not a lot of deer. There really isn't. I imagine there's more like that, but like I said, I don't get west or I don't get east very often. And I don't go hunting because I got it right. I don't have to go nowhere to go hunting. So I used to. I mean, I used to go out to Wyoming, Colorado. I used to go a lot of places and go hunting. Now, South Dakota seems like it's funny. I'm literally on the border. Go very far south of me and get into whitetails.
No kidding.
So what's the difference?
I'd say for mismanagement for sure.
But I mean, I'm so close to that line. You know, they've got whitetail. So EHD evidently, when it was killing deer here, it didn't go very far south here, but it went north, you know, and cleared out a bunch. So
yeah, okay. I mean, maybe they just caught just enough rain south of the border there, you know, that saved some deer.
Well, and it does. The Grand River is down there about 30 miles from me, maybe closer than that there, and it changes. You could almost watch that year, actually, when we got the big kill off. You could almost watch them rainstorms come and split here and go south and go way north. So that could have been that would explain it. So
it could be, because even like where we at, just a few miles north of our place, you know, majority of my hunting's for whitetail probably south, but north of our place, they could literally caught 2 little half-inch rains more than we did south.
Wow.
And it just saved a lot of deer to the north, a lot more than south. But
yeah, no. Eric says Game and Fish loves it when you don't fill a tag because then they have a higher head count. Oops, it just moved, and they can sell more tags again for more revenue. Yeah, I honestly, you know, they always want you to do surveys, but Game and Fish never ask you the right questions. And I would love it if they'd actually work with landowners to get true counts. I know you could get a better count than what they do flying around.
Sure, yeah.
But they don't even make the attempt. The only time they want to talk to you is if they want something. And it's not something you usually want. So.
Right. And you know what? Surveys, after doing our open records requests, we'll never fill out another survey again. I don't care if it's a pheasant survey, deer survey, because they use them against us. And
absolutely.
They were literally going to, they didn't do it, but it was talked about. But they were going to go through our surveys and see who was for baiting and against baiting and reach out to those people who were against baiting.
Oh, you mean them random surveys?
They're using them against us too. You know, you can make a data say whatever you wanted to, and for them to even bring that up, Clay, it's like, no, they never get another survey.
I don't blame, and I don't think there's even a law. Some states they have a law about it. I don't think we do in North Dakota, do we? We don't have to fill them out, do we?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. I ignore them most of the time.
There definitely needs to be some kind of overhaul for sure. Something's got to change. And our goal is really, you know, is to unite this, like we've talked before, the sportsmen and the landowners. We can unite. We need to take it into our own hands and get the population back to where it's supposed to be.
Well, yes. I think we're what they give about 44,000 tags this year, though, something like that.
It's almost as low as the 60s, Clay.
Yes, that's right. And so think about that. We went from 150,000 plus to 44,000. And I can remember not that long ago when numbers were excellent here. And I've been on this place 27 years, and there were some really good years. Mother Nature took its toll on a few years, but
sure.
EHD did come through and wipe out, but there's something more to it. They're coming back. Mule deer have moved in. That's why I don't believe the CWD thing one bit. Is it a real disease? Probably. Is there a prion? No.
But definitely not.
I mean, I don't know, because what you define it as, but I can tell you this. I've seen more mule deer here than I've ever seen in my life, and I know it's because my whitetails moved out and the mule deer moved in, and they flourished. And I'm okay with that, although I do like hunting whitetails. So I want to have them both, So all right, get to a few more of these. They've been just coming in here. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, whitetails are scarce near Underwood. That's from Justin. Ryan, Eric. He says, can you buy a bow tag over the counter? Yeah. Oh, and you can buy a bow tag. Yeah, exactly. We've don't even get us started on that about seasons and yeah. We've had that discussion, but it'd be a good roundtable discussion again, wouldn't it?
It really would be. I'm going back to mismanagement real quick. Like, I don't feel like we need to really take tags from anybody. We just need to keep what deer are alive now and get our numbers back, because it's mismanagement. Yeah, you can say EHD is not, but letting 50,000 plus deer starve a few years ago, and I mean, they can control the numbers. And
you know what I honestly want to see them do? I want to see, and they'll never do it, but I want to see North Dakota deer season closed. I'm talking everywhere, 1 year. That'll tell us a lot of things. Either it will work and you'll see numbers go up, or it's not the hunting pressure isn't the problem, right?
Right. Yeah.
But they'll never do that.
No, that would never happen. A lot of people probably would be upset too, but it would be.
And as a landowner, I'd be fine with that.
Sure.
If they shut it down for an entire year, and I mean everywhere, to give everything a break, and let's see what happens.
We know what happened. Just you're
right.
keeping deer alive, you're going to double your population in 1 year. At least.
That's I mean, the only thing that's going to kill them off is weather or predators.
Right. And whether we can help.
Whether we can help. And as landowners, most of us do.
And predators, yep.
I mean, I'd be an advocate for that, but I bet they'll never do it because the money. Follow the money. Corey says, yeah, EHD is really weird. Flat Creek area have quite a few dead south of Meadow, hardly any, but they got more rain also. Yeah, that's right. And the reason around Flat Creek, and this is what I found the last time EHD came through here. The dead ones I found are over here in my creek, where it has at least some water. Up by the river, it was horrible. North of me. I mean, it stunk so bad there were that many dead whitetails up there. And it was tough on them. It really was. And then they were just making a recovery, and then it come back. But we got an early freeze, and it killed off the mites. So it didn't take the toll on it. So now that's been 2 years ago. Okay. So maybe this year, because I've seen some around, so that'd be okay. Let's see. He says, he says, one of my buddies, this is from Eric from Jamestown, is one of the fellows up in the plane that does the head count. Well, Eric, you should ask him, how accurate do they get? Because I really would love to know how efficient and effective that really is, honestly.
I know the game officials said, if there's quite a bit of snow on the ground, a foot or more, they can get a pretty good count. And, maybe they can because they should know where a lot of the good wintering grounds are,
We didn't have a lot of snow last year.
No.
Either. And we haven't this year, so that's going to make it a little tougher. So, Corey says, I love it when they want to do bird counts because they always call us to come out because we're right on the river. Yeah, be a lot of birds there. Yeah. Really seem to be a bit more hardy. They probably are. I do think that they tend, usually they're in rougher ground. I mean, that's just the nature of a mule deer. And they'll paw more for stuff than take a handout. They truly will. But they're starting to get adapted to taking some of them handouts, it looks like now. I'm not in rough ground here. No, but, it's rolling hills. But it's not tough ground like, say, my grandpa's place south back in the day. That's like breaks. And that's where the mule deer were really at. And they're moving up into this area. So maybe they're liking a little easier life, too. They can get behind these windbreaks. And when I get done, they'll have plenty of places to be. But
That's good. We want to keep them alive too, as many as we can. I think he's right though. They are pretty hardy. I mean, with all the snow, we hardly ever find dead mule deer. They just I followed one buck, like I've said before. He was 9.5 years old for 6 or 7 years. Surviving the winters. He was limping for 2 years. Would grow the same rack every year, and I mean, just an awesome deer. At 9.5 years old, he grew a rack like he did at 4.
I mean, that's an old deer. Yeah, wow.
It is. Cool. He still grew a rack, around 170, 173.
That's pretty good at that age.
Yeah. He was consistent, but he limped, and he might have had a fever from EHD. He had a messed up toe.
Oh, wait a second.
3 years.
They can't survive that. Don't you know that?
That old deer, limping for a couple of years. I mean, he should have died of CWD.
Yeah. So it's Matt says, better yet, hold the North Dakota deer season from October 15th to the 1st. So, he makes, I've hunted many states where they do not hunt a rut, and their populations are doing great.
And big deer too.
And big deer. I've never understood. Does it make it easier? Absolutely. It is easier to hunt deer during rut.
Way easier.
Because they're men, right?
Yep.
So you know where they're going to be. Don't spook the does. You got a better chance. So I would love to see that happen. Not hunting the rut. I don't know if you get that changed. I've advocated for that for a long time. I think that would help a lot. I really do. And that's another thing too in North Dakota. South Dakota always offered when I was down there in any deer tag or in any whitetail tag, meaning you could take a buck or a doe. You didn't have to take a buck. And I would love to see that happening in North Dakota. Like my gratis tag, I can shoot whatever I want. And if I don't see a decent buck and I don't really want any deer meat, I don't shoot anything. If I don't see a good buck, I'll take a nice big fat doe. And I really do do that. Why on earth aren't we having that option with the buck? Don't just issue a buck tag. Why not make that either in any whitetail or in any mule deer or in any deer? I don't know, just something.
Yeah, there's we could go down a lot with that because I know like a lot of other states too, they're like so anti-baiting, because it's hurting their big deer population. And I mean, if you just take ethics out of all of it, what are the deer really on the landscape for? I take it as food. So, I mean, if there's enough bucks to hunt, enough does to hunt, it all goes back to managing the herd for the numbers. Like, yes, I love giant deer, and I call myself a trophy hunter, but at the same time, we live off of deer. We want deer in the freezer, so we're putting deer in the freezer. It's just a different way to look at it to me. It's like the deer are here for food, and if we can't raise big deer, but we have a lot of deer to hunt, that doesn't mean we should try to raise big deer, and have regulations because of that.
Yeah, no, I like to hunt the big ones. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I don't apologize for that, but I will take something just for meat, or if I see a deer and it's a buck, it's a big 3x2, and that's all it's ever going to be. I want it out of the herd. That's management buck.
That's right.
That is a term. I know people hate that term. Well, it is true. Yeah. There's still one out here that needs. Maybe he died finally, or someone got him, because I did not see him this year, and he is a 3x2, and he's huge. Maybe finally someone got him.
We got a couple of those running around here too. That just 6-7 years old. I've watched them 4 or 5 years, and they're just 3x2s, heavy. Yep.
Heavy, and it's cool, but I don't want them in the herd. I want them gone. So,
well, Matt brings up a good point, though. I mean, instead of taking tags from somebody, maybe it could shift the season where not as many bucks or deer are getting harvested.
Yeah,
during rifle season, I mean, I don't know. That's for topic,
to talk about. Well, Corey says, "Swollen next." He goes, "I agree on the not hunting rut," and I think that's gaining more support. I'm even talking to people that have been kind of vehemently against it. They're sitting there going, maybe it's something we try. I mean, I look at it this way: we can always switch it back if it don't work, right?
Right, exactly.
But what we're doing right now does not work, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Deer numbers are low, and it ain't just a habitat problem.
No, we got tons of habitat here, Clay, and our whitetails are not coming back at all very fast. It's really slow.
Yeah, he says, Corey, I'm pretty sure we have more mule deer than around here than whitetail. Yeah, I think you do too, Corey. And they used to have a ton of whitetails around there. So another area where there's more mule deer, to me, seem like they're actually doing very well. It's the whitetails that are struggling. So
right, for sure.
Well, we're coming up here on 2 hours, and I usually try to keep it at that. we kind of got off subject, but the only thing you want, we didn't even talk about bees, and we'll do that at some point. So
we can do that again. Yeah, we'll get together on that again.
And I'm planning to add more bees here because I know that's an important part of that cycle too. So, anything you want to leave anybody with before we sign off tonight?
I just appreciate everybody coming on and just keep spreading the word and just keep getting involved.
Involvement's everything. It really is.
Yep.
An active, involved populace means we the people do govern, not the other way around. We don't want to be governed. We should be doing the governing.
That's right. And we can make a difference. If somebody says, I'm one person, I can't make a difference. No.
Well, I can tell you, you guys made one hell of a difference in that legislature, especially with all them orange shirts. I'm telling you, to see the pictures, and I can tell you from being there enough, that's intimidating to them guys. They're like, ooh. So, yeah.
But if there's the next time, we'll have a couple hundred in there.
Wouldn't that even be better yet?
Absolutely.
So let's see. What did Corey say here? He said, definitely like to talk about bees also. Maybe we'll just have to do something just kind of dedicated to that because I can learn a bunch yet. I can tell you that.
That's right. Let's do it.
I mean, I've really gotten interested in them, and I know that they're an important part on the place. And there's a lot of things you can do. That's why I'm planting sandfoin with the wildflower mix. That's going to be huge, I think.
That is going to be a big thing.
So. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in. We can't do it without you, and we can't do it without the support of our great sponsors, Lauer Auto Repair, Kalon's Auto Service Center, Horton LaserCraft, /H Ranch, and, of course, Little Angry Man Arms. We love the support that we get from them, so please get out and support them because without them, this thing don't float very good. Then it really gets kind of expensive. So anyway, thank you. We've had a great, 3 years. That's what we're coming up on. So appreciate everybody. Tune in next week. We are definitely, I'm having Michael Bell on. He'll be from Dakota Morning. Sorry, Michael, if you're listening. But he's going to be joining me. We're going to talk. Who knows? We're just going to go down all kinds of little avenues. And I've been on Michael's show several times. So I've invited him on. I think it'll make for great conversation. Don't be afraid to chime in. As always, Friday morning, I'll be on KFYR 5:50 a.m. with Todd Mitchell. Mitchell in the morning, 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central. I'll do my happy ending on Friday. I kind of quit doing them here because I've been doing them on that Friday show. And I think Jamie's, if he does some filling in or maybe somebody else is going to be doing, maybe Leon, but who knows? Leon then comes on Friday night, and I think his deal with Royce, I believe, is going to be airing tomorrow. But maybe he'll do a little promo on that for you guys. But catch him Friday night. That comes on at 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain every single Friday. And then the Sunday Sportsman's Devotion comes on 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 Central with Pastor Vance Bishop. Everybody, thank you for supporting us. Support the Second Amendment. Stay safe, and God bless.